Nobody else is going to come and do this for you. If you want to change your future, you've got to do it yourself. If you want to be fit for your kids or fit for your family or healthy, or you want a longer life, you've got to do it for yourself. Nobody else is going to come for you. It's not going to just happen. You've got to do it. And so that really kind of sparked oh, okay, like this is on me. Like I
Yeah.
need to do this for me.
All right. Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of the Beyond the Scale podcast. I am your host, Mary Catherine, and today we have a very special guest. We have Rae Harvill, who is a middle school counselor in Dallas, Texas. She has been working out with Fit Body Boot Camp for almost 2 years now. She is a wife to Lewis for almost 14 years and a mom to a fun 5-year-old boy and 2 cats and a puppy Double Doodle. What a cute name. In her spare time, she loves to act in plays and community theater, and she loves to travel and spend time with her friends. So I'm having her on today because she says that working out at Richardson Fit Body Boot Camp in Texas has completely changed her life. And she's so thankful to the owners, Tom and Katie, for their encouragement and what they have cultivated there. So I'm so excited to dive into this conversation with Rae because she has completely changed her life with health and fitness. So welcome, Rae.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. So Rae and I connected briefly a few months ago over the phone, and I was able to learn a little bit about her journey and what she was doing before Fit Body, and then how her life has changed so much now. And so I kind of want to start with when did you start going to Fit Body Boot Camp?
So the end of August of 2021.
Okay,
I saw
so
this.
about a year
Yeah.
after COVID.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And
Realizing what
what was
COVID did to, knock out your fitness and just health. And I was like, I need to get back on track. So
Oh, yeah. I feel like with COVID, people either went all in with fitness or they were all out. It wasn't a
all
lot of
out.
the in between.
Yeah.
So, what was your health and fitness routine like at that time in your life before, I guess, before starting Fit Body? What did that look like for you?
I would start a program, get bored with it, not follow through with it, fall back off track for a while. I was not consistent with anything. I guess I was consistent with not being consistent. And so it just was kind of like I just didn't follow through. And so I never really got to a fitness level that I was happy with or anything. And so then I would get discouraged and just not do anything for a while. So it wasn't until I found Fit Body that I was able to be consistent with something. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And
yeah.
and that's I like how you pointed out you were consistent with not being consistent because I do feel like once you get in that consistent routine of not doing something, it is so hard. Just getting started and staying consistent is the hardest part. We always tell our
Mhm.
clients walking through the doors is the hardest part because once you get there, you're there. You can put in the
Right.
work, you can go through the motions, but just getting your clothes on in the car to the gym is so hard.
Yes, one of the coaches would always says, like, "The heaviest weight you'll lift is that door, opening that door
Mm,
at to get here." And so I was like, "Yes." I mean,
yes.
sometimes that's so true. Mhm.
It really is. Why were you hesitant to start? So, what was holding you back at that time in your life, before starting Fit Body? What was holding you back from staying consistent with something?
Before, I think it was just you have to rely so much on your own self-motivation and your own, willpower to get through, and so once that's gone, it's, like, once you're able to talk yourself out of something, you don't have somebody there encouraging you, like, at Fit Body where you have your coaches that are gonna check in with you or your community of people that you work out with, that gives you a little bit of, like, oh, what's the word?
A little bit of that motivation that you
Yeah,
need,
motivation,
accountability.
accountability, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
to get there and
So
get in.
so you how did you discover Fit Body then?
So I I guess it popped up on a Facebook ad that Tom and Katie were building a new facility, and there was some sort of deal that like you could sign up and get a good intro rate or whatever. And I was like, okay, this looks interesting. So I started following their page, and the ad kept coming up, and you know how it does on social media, it knows when you've looked at something, and so
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
It
okay,
knows when you're thinking about something.
yeah. And so then, well, it just kept popping up, and so it, like, kinda kept nagging at me, this Facebook ad, and, so I was like, "Okay, well, I'll sign up and see what happens." And so then I got the notice that, "Hey, you got in this deal," and I was like, "Okay." So then there was this, orientation kinda meeting to come find out more about us, and I was like, "Nah, I'll skip it. No, I it's fine." Like, I'm in over my head, that's not me, like, I'm not, fit enough to be at a place like that, and so, my husband was the one that was like, "No, you should go see what it's all about," and so I did, and, that's the beginning. Yeah.
So walk me through those like first few weeks because I know for me, like when I started out as a client at FitBody, I wasn't necessarily like lacking in my workouts at the time. Like I was pretty self-motivated to work out, but I'd never had worked out with other people in a group setting. And so for me, I loved the community and I loved just like
Mhm.
working out with other people. And that's what really motivated me to keep coming back. What was it like in those first few weeks? Walk us through like that process because for some of our listeners, like they may still be in that area, that gray area where they're thinking about starting a new exercise program or and they want to try it out, but they're so nervous because they don't know what it's going to be like. So walk us through
Right.
those first few weeks for you.
So when I went to the orientation meeting, it was like, different people of different ages and different fitness ranges and everything. And Tom got up there and gave his presentation, and he really said something that hooked me in. And it was like, I can't remember. I've been trying to remember exactly what he said because it was a year and a half or almost 2 years ago now. But it was like, nobody else is going to come and do this for you. You've got to, like, if you want to change your future, you've got to do it yourself. If you want to be fit for your kids or fit for your family or healthy or you want a longer life, you've got to do it for yourself. Nobody else is going to come for you. Nobody, it's not going to just happen.
Mm,
You've got to do it. And so that really like kind of sparked a, oh, okay, like this is on me. Like I
yeah,
need to do this for me, and for what I want. And so that kind of was my kind of hook in, I guess. And
yeah,
so that my first workout, I went in and they paired me up with a group. And again, it was just the fact that it was like all age ranges, all different types of people. I'd never done that before. It had either been like just going to the gym and trying to work out by myself or do like at home video workouts. And so just the fact that it was like kind of instant, like, hey, I can be just like one of these people. Like they're not all super fit. It wasn't intimidating to me, and so that kind of, like you said, that community kind of gets you hooked in. And
yeah.
after, a 30-minute workout, you're like, oh, I did that, and so
Right.
that was really motivating. Hmm.
That's awesome. I love that. And I love what you said about, what Tom said in orientation. I often hear like no one's gonna come save you. Like
Yeah.
no one's coming to save you. And for coaches and fit body owners, like sometimes we make the analogy of like, a helicopter is swarming over the people in the ocean and we can only help the ones swimming towards the helicopter, swimming towards the ladder.
Yes.
And it's so true, but like we said in the beginning, it's so hard to just get started. And
Hmm.
once you get started, it's easier to show up. It's easier to commit to something when you know that like it's working, you're having fun, you're seeing results. And so I want to
Right.
go there because I know that you and I spoke, before about your results. You've had some serious like transformations over the years. And when you started at FitBody, your son was what, 3?
Hmm. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay, so
3.
you're still in, like, the early stages of motherhood, and I know for me as a mom, like, just making time for yourself and, like, focusing on nutrition and fitness at the same time while raising a child is absolutely exhausting, and I don't wanna
Hmm.
do it sometimes. So, talk to me about, like, how that impacted your life as a mom, but then also the transformation that you had.
Yeah, I think whenever, I mean, I think I was a little bit in denial about how out of shape I was as a mom, or like even just mentally, physically, just like you said, it's so exhausting. And so once I got started and I felt that transformation start to happen, even a couple weeks in, and I started feeling more confident in my ability and everything like that, I was like, okay, this is this is a game changer because I feel healthier to play with my son. I feel healthier to just show up for him every day and be able to be like, when he's like, "Mommy, come play," or "Mommy, come do this," I don't feel like I can't. I'm just too tired. I feel like,
Yeah.
okay, I got this. And I feel confident going to the park with him and things like that, going out swimming. So that's been a big deal. I don't have to hide behind not feeling either, just energized enough or physically fit enough to go run around with him. That's been a huge deal. And then realizing like I have to hook in nutrition too. I have to show him what healthy eating looks like and show him. And so sometimes he'll come with me to the gym. And so he'll get to see me work out. And I think that's so fun and such an important thing because we model, what healthy habits look like. And so that's been so fun. And so my gym friends, as I call them, like have gotten to see him grow up a couple since he started and since I've started. And it's been so fun. It's been really good.
I love that so much. And, your kids, like they pick up on what you have fun doing. So, like for our
Mhm.
family, my husband and I being in this business together, like we're always at the gym, we're always exercising. And for Mother's Day and for Father's Day this year, my daughter made one of those cute sheets where it says, things about my mom, things about my
Yes,
dad.
yes,
Like,
yes.
they love doing this, they like eating this. Well, for both of ours, it said, like my mommy and my daddy love to exercise. And I'm like, "Oh, that's
Yes.
great." Like she she probably tells her friends that we love to exercise, and I think that is just setting
Yes.
a great example for them.
Yeah, the other day he goes, he was talking to one of our friends, he goes, "When I grow up, I wanna be strong like mommy," and
Oh,
that just got me. I was like, "Okay."
yes, I
I mean, that's
love
a big
that.
deal. Yeah.
I love that so much. Oh, that is so great. Okay, so, not only are you now such a great role model for your son, you feel better, you have the energy. Talk a little bit about that physical transformation that you experienced since starting Fit Body, because you've lost, what, close to 50 pounds, I believe is what
Almost
you.
50 pounds, I'm so close to my goal. Yeah, so whenever again, like, at that orientation meeting, they weighed us and got all our measurements and everything, and I was like, "Oh," like, I didn't realize I hadn't stepped on a scale in so long, and so when I saw that number, I was like, "Okay, well, I got a little bit more work to do than I thought."
Yeah.
But then, just within the first, 25 sessions of being there, I'd already lost, like, almost 10 pounds of muscle. I mean, 10 pounds of fat and gained muscle. And so then, here we are a year and a half later, and I've almost hit my 50-pound mark and um, gained back, oh gosh, I should have looked at my numbers, several years of my life. Just, it's insane when I look back at pictures. And I have a picture that I post in my bathroom of like my initial picture that I took on my 25 sessions. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not going back to that. That's such a motivator to me. 50 pounds. I mean, like,
Yeah,
that,
that is
yeah,
incredible. Now,
yeah,
is that smaller than you were before you got pregnant with your son?
yeah. I've never been this fit before.
That is
So,
amazing. That is so
yeah.
amazing. Oh my gosh, like, that is so great. I'm so proud of you and happy for your success. I know that you mentioned you are a school counselor,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that this has kind of helped you in that role as well.
I think so incredibly because I've seen how working out can help your mental health. It's
Yeah,
such a direct correlation. I've even like now I've read some research and seeing that like when you even if you're just taking walks or you're committing to being physically fit, like you're getting a mental health boost. And so I've gotten to see that and I've gotten to encourage that in my students and in my counseling.
looking back, you said you are now in the best shape that you have ever been in your adult life. What would you tell your younger self? If you could tell your younger self anything before making your health and fitness a priority, like what would that be?
I would tell my younger self that like if you could just get started and just start with physical fitness, whether that's taking walks, you're just going to save yourself so much stress and anxiety and worry because when you're physically fit or whenever you're feeling good about yourself, when you are taking care of your nutrition, that it doesn't solve everything, but it sure does help. And so if you could just, find this, if I could have found that so much earlier, I feel like it would have just made so many other parts of my life that much happier or that much more confident. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I just, yeah, telling my younger self that just go for it. Just start now, you'll be better for it.
Yeah, I love that so much. I was reading something earlier today actually, and it was something along the lines of, you're always going to be busy and your
Mhm,
life is
mhm.
never going to slow down. Like what you're busy with now might not be the same thing that you're busy with a year from now, but no matter what, you're always going to be busy. So why not try to figure out how to make your health and fitness a priority during the busy season so that no matter what kind of busy you are in the
That's
future,
right.
you can always do it. And, like, if
Right.
you're waiting for the perfect time, if you're waiting for your life to slow down, it's never gonna happen, and
That's
so you're
never
gonna
gonna
miss
happen.
out. Yeah, you're gonna
Right.
miss out on, like, the opportunity to be strong and to be your best self so that you feel good for these, like, new moments in life. Like, you mentioned playing with your son at the park, and that's a big deal for me. It's summer when we're recording this right now, like, for our
Mhm.
listeners, it's summertime. We go to the pool a lot, and I see moms all the time at the pool, and we'll be in conversation, and they're talking about how they'd love to get in the gym and they would love
Mhm.
to take care of themselves and they're not feeling confident in a bathing suit and just making excuses for themselves. And I'm kind of standing there like, on one side you're trying to relate to them and you understand what they're going through, but then on the other hand you're like, you got to make some changes now because if you don't, you're always going to feel like this. And you want to be able to show up every summer in a bathing suit playing with your kids no matter
Right.
what season of life you're in, feeling great. There's never gonna be the right time. Like, you just have to go all in, like you said, and just do it now.
Do it now.
Yeah, do
You're
it
not
now.
getting
Okay, so
you
at Fit Body, we talk a lot about your why, and I feel like I could probably, define what your why is, but I want you to do that for our audience. So, like, what is your why? Like, what is it that gets you out of bed at Fit Body?
well, obviously, whenever you have a kid, that changes everything, right? Like, your why is, like, showing up for them, wanting to, be there for them, but then also my why is just, like, my entire future. I see, people that are older than me, like, living out their prime because they have decided to choose fitness and nutrition in their life because they're able to go on those vacations and travel and show up for their grandkids. And I follow some Instagram women that are like in their 60s and they're still so fit, and I'm like, I want to be like that. I want to show up for my future grandkids. I want to have a long healthy life, and so that starts now. That's my why. So getting out of bed, I'm like, this is for my future. This is what I want for forever. And
Yeah,
so as soon as you talk yourself out of that, it's it doesn't correlate with your goal. And so you have to continuously remember what your why and your goals. And does this action equal what my goals are? And so
mm,
that's constant kind of a um, self affirmation, or kind of a just thing that's going on in your back of your mind, like, does this meet my goals? Does this help me to my next thing?
yeah,
So
you definitely value your health and your actions show, which is just incredible. That's awesome.
thank
So
you.
your, husband and your son, your son, he said goes to boot camp with you. What's your husband think about all of this? Like, does he support your health and fitness journey? Is he into fitness?
So he is we have a kind of a garage gym with a squat rack and everything like that. And so he's more into the weightlifting, powerlifting kind of thing. And so but he's such a great motivator anytime I'm tired or I've had a long day, because being an educator is really stressful. And so some days I'm just like, I don't feel like it, I've had a really long day. He'll say, this is when you need it the most. And so he's like, you
Mhm.
should go, just go show up and you'll feel better
Yeah,
after. I'm like, okay. And he's 100% of the time he's right. Dang it.
yeah.
But that's when you need it the most, is after those stressful days. So I'm so thankful for his encouragement on those days. Yeah.
Gosh, that's so awesome, like, to have a spouse like that who supports you in those low moments, because even my husband and I, like, we support each other 100% with our, like,
Sure.
health and fitness journeys, but there are definitely days where if he'll be like, "I don't feel like doing today," I'm like, "Me neither, like, let's just snuggle on the couch," you know?
I think that's a good balance too, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's needed.
It's so important to have somebody, like, in your corner that's supporting you, someone that's really close to you, because there are many women that I'm sure you probably know some from the gym that they're on this venture alone. Like, they don't
Mhm.
have a support system, and they have to really just do this all by themselves, so to have that support is phenomenal.
Oh, I'm so, so thankful. But, I also think, when you talked about, resting or whatever, I've had to learn that lesson myself though, because sometimes you do push yourself too hard or you
Oh,
find yourself,
yes.
in a rut, mentally or even physically. And so one of the biggest lessons I've had to learn through this journey is that it's okay to rest and like your body needs that just as much as it does, everything else. And so
Yeah,
to learn to slow down, to take a breath, that's so important too. And I guess that's my counselor person coming out too. Is like, it's okay to rest. Like it's
yeah.
okay to take a break. So, because your
Oh,
body's not going to get to its next part if you don't let it, heal a little bit too.
right, and a lot of times too, like, people think their body's just gonna change overnight, like, one workout is not gonna prevent you from reaching your health and fitness goals, from looking a certain way, it's not gonna be, like, the end all of to your results, so if you have to take a day off, like, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna live, so
Right. Just like that one meal didn't make you the way you
Ex
were. That one workout's not going
exactly,
to hurt you either.
exactly. Well, Ray, I have loved our conversation so much. And one thing that I
Thank
like to
you.
ask all of my guests is, what does living a life beyond the scale mean to you? Because we talk about on the beyond the scale everything related to health, fitness, positive mindset, and that number like truly does not define you. So, what does living a life beyond the scale mean to you?
Finding every opportunity in life to just find something positive or find the fun in it, go on adventures. Beyond the scale is yeah, finding the adventure in life and just taking full advantage of it and being ready for it. I think that's beyond the scale for me.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that. So, if our listeners wanted to find you, learn more about you, where can they find you?
Oh, I started an Instagram when I started my whole journey, and it's called Ray's Fit Body Journey. And so you can see like my whole journey since I started at Fit Body. And so yeah, at Ray's Fit Body Journey. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, definitely check her page out. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having
This
me. It's been fun.
Yeah, this has been so much fun. And for all of my listeners, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and share this episode with all of your friends. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Beyond the Scale podcast.